Hello, my name's Stephen Hopkins, and I'm fortunate enough to be here today with Dawn Campbell from the International Association for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. So thank you very much, Dawn, for joining me today. This is a piece really for the students on the Advanced Workplace Mentoring Programme, and it's a piece about accreditation. We want really to together help you as students, participants on the programme that I run, to understand about the International Association of Professional Coaching and Mentoring and what the accreditation process for you could possibly be. So, Dawn, could I hand over to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Dawn, accreditation versus certification, a bit of confusion sometimes around this. So could you help us around that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a very valid question, and a lot of people think, well, I've got my certificate from my advanced mentoring training course, and that's it. Job done. But actually, if you think about it, there's a lot of students coming out of training courses, whether it's coaching, mentoring, and indeed from universities. And you've got to think about, how do you stand out in a very crowded market? How do you actually identify yourself as best in class? So one of the reasons you can do that, or the ways you can do that, is becoming accredited. So a typical example of the difference between accreditation versus certification is that in education, we see students receive a degree, but it's actually the university themselves that have had that course accredited, and it means that when students are choosing and looking at league tables, which is the best organization to train with, they're going to train with somebody who's got the highest levels of accreditation. So accreditation is one stage higher than certification because it pulls everything together. So that's the experience, the training, the testimonials, the experience, certification, and accreditation, as I like to think, is almost like the cherry on the cake.
That's really, really helpful. In fact, Dawn, as you know, my program, the Advanced Workplace Mentorship Program, I sought out accreditation and found, not to be too flattering, but found the best accrediting body I could for that program, and that was your body, the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. So as participants on my program know, it is an accredited program, and you as an organisation do accredit it.
Yeah, good. And I'm sure that was one of the reasons why they chose you as well, Stephen.
Okay, I'd like to think so. So why, Dawn, why does an individual's accreditation status matter?
Yeah, another great question that we get asked all the time. And as I alluded to in the previous slide, it's about creating that all-important differentiator. So if you think about the UK alone, you've got 130,000 people calling themselves coaches and mentors. Now, who's to say whether they're properly trained, whether they're insured, whether they're accredited, whether they're experienced, and so on. So if we think about when we hire somebody, Stephen, whether it's a hairdresser, a driving instructor, a lawyer, or indeed we go to a surgeon, we want to know that the person that we're seeing is best in class, that they're on a national register somewhere, that they're holding themselves accountable, and that they're supporting and protecting their clients' needs. So accreditation creates a very powerful differentiator, not just for you in terms of knowing that you've put yourself through a process that proves that your capabilities and you're best in class, but it helps your clients, your prospective clients, identify you in a really crowded market. So it's about adhering to professional standards. And as we know, coaching and mentoring is a largely unregulated industry. So it's really important to have that formal recognition of training, certification, experience, capability in particular. It gives you that credibility and that confidence, and it sort of assures the client that you're able to deliver. Everybody also adheres to the standards and ethics, and of course they, like you and I, sign up to the Code of Professional Conduct. So all of that with the guarantees and the complaints procedures and things that we advertise on our website just reassures the clients. And increasingly, what I'm experiencing is clients are ringing me and saying, I'm thinking about hiring such and such. Are they accredited? Even if they say they're accredited on their own websites, they're coming to us and checking. So our message to the public about protect yourself, protect your hard-earned income, protect your well-being is getting through, and the public are starting to think of coaching and mentoring as a much more professional profession than they ever did before.
That's great. For me, it's professional standing, isn't it? It gives the whole thing a professional platform and a professional standing and protects people. That's great. Really helpful. I hope that's helpful to my participants. Thank you.
I'm sure.
So we can you can arrange for accreditation. I know, because I'm accredited, there's some added value. There's some other investment returns on the investment that you make. There's lots more benefits, Dawn. Could you talk through those for us?
Of course, yes. I mean, obviously, being accredited is the icing on the cake. That's essentially all we do. We don't have any products to sell. We don't have any training courses. We are totally independent. We've been doing this since 1998. And accreditation of excellent coaches, mentors, training providers, universities, and corporate in-house programs is all we do. But what we have done is we've created over the years an evolving value-added benefits, which provides a massive return on investment. So this brochure in the middle is downloadable from the website, and it's evolving. But essentially, I can split benefits into two key categories. One is CPD, continuous professional development, and we have regular webinars that is designed to build a coach and a mentor's capability, knowledge, skills, and confidence, because we're here for the lifetime of a practitioner. It's not just when they become a practitioner. We want them to become a senior, to become a master, and to become a fellow. And the other area, the second area, is the business acumen. What we find, Stephen, is that a lot of practitioners come out of the academies and the coach training courses, and they might be certified as great coaches and mentors, but some of them lack the business acumen to actually turn that into a thriving practice. So there was definitely a gap in the knowledge there. So we created this program on the left, and it's a 12-month 12 modular self-teach e-program, which is complementary to all our accredited practitioners. And it covers everything from, I want to open a business, how do I go about it? How do I create my niche? How do I calculate my hourly rate? How do I deal with branding? And we've got expert speakers talking about various topics. So that's a really interesting part of your CPD, but also business building skills. We have the weekly bulletin, as I'm sure you know, sometimes comes out 2 or 3 times a week because it depends on what opportunities we're presented with. But that is packed with CPD and business building opportunities, and occasionally something else like some pro bono coaching that we've been offered around the world, as we have just done with Christian Aid. So opportunities come up all the time, and that's how we communicate with each other. On the right here, we have an action checklist, and that's a 4 or 5 page PDF, little booklet we've put together. So when people become accredited, they can work through that at their own time, rather than just become accredited and not really know what to do or how to use the material that's available to them. We've got a lot of professionally designed marketing material for individuals' own websites. So this little booklet will take you through the orientation of the website, the secure members area, and how to sort of tap into all that marketing material we've prepared for our members so that they can stand out in that crowded market. And then most recently, we've created another initiative, which is a book, a published book, which is coming out any day. how to win and keep clients. So I suggest all new practitioners buy this because it's a handbook for solopreneurs. So it's going to help you build that important relationship with your clients. So lots and lots of lovely value-added benefits always going on.
Great, thank you very much. And if I can say from my perspective, it feels very much like being a member of a professional community, a community for support and a community for learning. So accreditation is, it is a tick in a box, and it gives a professional status, but it also gives a sense of community, which is very, very important to me anyway.
Good, thank you for that. I appreciate that feedback. Yeah, it's important to us as well.
So the process, Dawn.
Yes, very simple. We're automated, so you pay online. Shortly, Stephen will have his own link to give you, and because you've come through Stephen's course, you get a discounted route. So because Stephen's course is already accredited, you get the benefit financially of having to do less work than the people who come through non-accredited routes. So you'll receive an email detailing exactly what the evidence portfolio that we require is. And a couple of things I'll just highlight that you'll be going through is a 30-minute assessment call. And you will complete a very brief self-reflection on that. It's, what did I learn from this? How am I going to do better next time? You'll sign the professional code of conduct. You'll fill out the standards and ethics questionnaire. And on successfully completing all of that, you will have your accredited practitioner mentor certification and logo for you to promote on your own website. And if you don't have a website, don't worry about that, because you'll be invited to upload your profile into our directory, and that's a good shop window for you until such times as you choose to have your own website. So accreditation is valid for 3 years, providing you pay your annual renewal fee. And then at the end of 3 years, Stephen's course, Stephen, myself, everybody has a mini sort of reappraisal. And that's just to check that as the accreditation industry, what we originally accredited is still being delivered today and no bad habits have developed. So that's how we maintain standards.
So when, that's the process. So when is the best time to kickstart this process, Dawn?
Well, I would say if your students are going to be setting up a practice, then the right time to start would be in line with starting your course, and at any time during that. Some people leave it till the end, so they will complete a course and then they will become accredited or apply for accreditation, because it isn't a given that just because you've been on an accredited course, you're automatically going to be successful. I have to be honest and say there is about a 10% fail rate, but we work with those students and help them with their CPD, and we have a 100% success rate when they take their assessment call for the second time that they succeed. So it is quite a vigorous process. It's certainly not a tick box exercise by any means, but the students who have left it right to the end often say, I wish I'd done this when I started my training, because actually I could have been building my business in line with my studies. Because although you've applied for accreditation and you're not yet accredited, you can still access the secure members area. That's the whole point. You will benefit from all the CPD and business building resources. So for instance, in the secure members area, you can download a complaints procedure, a testimonial template, a contract template, or the marketing material. You could be starting to build your website, etc. So when you've got your certification from Stephen and you can throw open the doors and say, hey world, hire me, I'm a certified practitioner in the mentoring field, you could at the same time be saying, and I'm accredited. But of course, you can't complete the process with the IAPC&M until you've got Stephen's certificate, until you've got 60 practical mentoring hours, and you've successfully completed the criteria that we've laid out, in particular the 30-minute mentoring session. But I would suggest everybody who wants a business in this field gets accredited as soon as possible.
Great advice. Thanks very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess we conclude by next steps. What are people best to do now?
Yeah, I mean, as Gandhi famously says, the future depends on what you do today. And I think most of us will know that, you know, whatever we're doing today is going to reflect where we are, who we are, and what we're doing in 5 years' time. So I think the thing that I would say in summary, Stephen, is, you know, if not now, when? And what is going to be the cost by not doing it now? So I would leave you with that thought and say, you know, we look forward to welcoming you to our growing community of global practitioners, obviously all professionally trained, properly trained, professionally accredited, mostly insured, depending on which countries they represent. And you've got, you know, Stephen and I for support if you've got any further questions, but we'd love to hear from you.
Fantastic. Well, Dawn, thank you ever so much for your time. I'm sure that between us, we've answered or anticipated the questions that participants on my programme have. I'll do my best to field any that come now. Yeah. And again, thanks very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Stephen. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and your students.
Thank you.